A dear mentor and friend of mine, Mark Laberton, writes in his book, The Dangerous Act of Worship, he says something like, the dangerous act of worship is waking up to God in the world. And so I think he has this kind of chapter around that idea, and I believe that that's what happens when we marry our deepest affection for God and the deepest needs that we see in the world around us. So as an example, Sunday morning, I had such a powerful encounter in worship. I haven't had that in years. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I came in more open or something about the space, the way the congregation was already worshiping. But the theme of worship that morning, this past Sunday, was trusting in God. And I congregate in the context of an all-Black church on the west side of Chicago that has, the congregants have seen some things, they have experienced some things. We have had Sundays where we've been able to celebrate someone that's returning after an unjust incarceration. We've had celebrations of grandchildren that have been literally lost and now they're found. I experienced of God like this deep presence, like, yes, I can trust you. I can trust you. And while all is happening in our world, like war and poverty and personal sickness and illness and disease, and we just lost a close friend to cancer, and I was like, and my kids are like, I hate cancer. I was like, I hate cancer too. And we're just processing all that's wrong. And my son would say, Mom, that's because of sin in the world, right? Like, that's because of sin. And then we have to explain to him what happened at the fall and how things disintegrated. And so we're having these deep theological conversations with our young children on the way to church. We get to church, and it's just simple songs, simple choruses that we're going to trust in God. And that God has been there for us, and God has, repeating of the stories of Scripture. And I could not help but dance. I was dancing, and our church is not a lot of dancing. There's a lot of older people. It's not a lot of dancing. And so I was like, I don't care. I'm going to dance. And I saw the worship leader was like, thank you, Sandra, because she was dancing. Something happened in me where I was like, if you can look at the world and see what is really happening in this world that we live in and confront the injustice, confronted me, name it, and name the injustice and name the evil and name even the decisions that individuals make to harm another individual. If you can look at that and say, in the midst of all of that, there is a God who sees and is present and is about restoring those things. If you can hold both of those things together, then I think your worship just deepens.